feel like I can't remember the last time I didn't get a comment pertaining to Kingdom Hearts 3 needing some kind of final mix release on one of my Kingdom Hearts videos. Now, I'm not necessarily complaining about that though. I'll take all the interaction you guys want to give me on videos. But as I said in that video, Kingdom Hearts videos for now on, unless it's something new being released, I'm just going to talk about what I want regarding the series instead of it always necessarily pertaining to the story and lore. But that's enough beating around the bush. Does Kingdom Hearts 3 need a final mix version like Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 and Birth by Sleep that added new scenes during the story, new bosses, and other new combat additions? No. Okay, on a serious note, I can still say this confidently, but despite that, if my look under the lens at Kingdom Hearts 3 was enough to go by, just because it's my favorite in the series doesn't mean I won't look at it critically and bring up its flaws. I am a Dream Drop Distance fan after all. I'm used to flaws in this series. Now I know the obvious response to this is that, well, Remind exists, and that is Kingdom Hearts 3 Final Mix. However, counterpoint, it doesn't carry the Final Mix name, so it'll never be a Final Mix in my heart. There's also the discussion of how Remind wasn't released on a disc. So while you can buy Kingdom Hearts 3 with Remind together digitally, does it truly count if it doesn't cover all bases like the other Final Mixes do? So by the time of this recording, Sony did backstep on the whole old PSN stores closing. Things like that though are scares for how digital products will become inaccessible one day, and with Remind never seeing a physical format, it's possible that if nothing changes, one day you just won't be able to buy Remind anymore, which unlike the Final Mixes, you can get in disc format at the store with no worries. Sony can't come to your house and take it from you without prying it from your cold, dead hands. There's also the debate that not really anything was added to the main game of Kingdom Hearts 3, though of course we got the other scenarios which altogether adds up to more content than what Kingdom Hearts 2 and 1 and Birth by Sleep added, but because no extra scenes were added to the main campaign, no new abilities, no reworked mechanics, or anything that were done that makes it unlike Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 Final Mix, though we can play the main game with easy codes or pro codes, that doesn't really add new combos or abilities in the way that Final Mix re-releases normally do. And as more of a drastic point, I've gotten comments that claim to want a Final Mix re-release for Kingdom Hearts 3 so that way they can add new scenes and rework the story itself. They'll say, for example, the overarching story flows in a different way throughout the entire game. Entire plot points are changed or completely rearranged for added clarity. The ending completely altered, changing the continuity of Kingdom Hearts 3 and more. Because as we know, the Final Mix versions of the game are the true canon, which is why they were chosen as the versions to be released in HD, which is also how Lingering Will appears in Kingdom Hearts 3, because Lingering Will didn't exist in the original Kingdom Hearts 2, since its first appearance was Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, even before the release of Birth by Sleep. I think this point is kind of dumb, because especially if you go and rework story to that extent, at that point that just cancels out Melody of Memories, even though it has a really small amount of story, that would still completely rework the lore that game comes with. So I really doubt they would change Kingdom Hearts 3 to the point to where it makes the story of the next game completely moot. As much as I'd like Remind to be available physically on Kingdom Hearts 3 discs, it's obvious Square intends for Remind to serve as the equivalent of a Final Mix. It doesn't really make sense to re-release the entire game in 2020 and make us buy the whole game again for the new content when they could just do DLC. To ensure this, they could go as far as delisting the original Kingdom Hearts 3 and only having Kingdom Hearts 3 plus Remind listed, so that way no one can accidentally miss out on content. They did this with Dragon Quest XI-S too, so it's something Square is capable of, despite that situation being kinda different, and they did re-release that game, but there's more technicalities behind it, and it still proves the point. Though I'll miss the OG subtitle Final Mix, does it really matter? No, it doesn't. The content is what really matters. I feel most people who want drastic story beats reworked only want it because they didn't like Kingdom Hearts 3, and that's fine. You don't have to like Kingdom Hearts 3. But it just reminds me of people who trying to make a petition for the creator of Attack on Titan to redo the ending because they wanted something different. That's just dumb. Kingdom Hearts 3 is Kingdom Hearts 3, and Square Enix isn't going to do anything to change that. Love it or hate it, that's okay, because that just means it's gonna be tons of fun thinking of what we want for the next game. You know, shameless plug for the previous video, you know. But that's it for this video. This was a pretty short one though. Not too sure how long it is after editing, but if you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe if you like my voice, I guess. And if you really like it, consider becoming a patron. Even one single dollar goes a long way, and there's benefits in it for you too. It's absolutely not a requirement and never will be. Anything that can be given to assist me will allow making videos faster, more consistent, and higher quality. Thanks so much for watching. My name is KingdomAce, and remember my warriors of courage to stay strong, stay beautiful, and always look skyward.